Let's finish this form with a couple of command buttons. To start this, from your Tools pane, come out and choose Prepare Form. From the toolbar up on top, you'll see there's a button that just says OK on it. You want to click on that once and then come down and click and drag, and that will place a button on the form. Now if you click away, there's your button. Let's say we preview this. It doesn't do anything at the moment, but that's going to change. I'm going to come back, double click the button to bring up the property sheet. I'm going to start over here in Appearance, and I'm going to give this button a name. I think I'll set this button up so that when the user clicks on it, it will go ahead and set up an email that will mail the form back to me automatically. So I'll just call this Email Me. I could put in a tooltip if I want. Maybe I'll go ahead and do that. Help the user out. We'll just say something like, click here to return this form to the sender. The form is going to be visible. I'm not going to make it read-only, although I don't think that's going to matter. And the orientation is just going to be flat. We're fine there. Appearance, I'm going to go ahead and just say no border on this button. But you know, a border might be nice, so I'm going to turn around and make this a black thin border. The fill color is gray. That's fine. Buttons are gray, I guess. It's going to have a solid line style. The font size is going to be 12. I'm going to change that to 14, and I'll leave that as Helvetica bold and black color. Click on position. The position is fine just where it is. I'll click on options. Now I want the layout on the label only. I'm going to have the behavior be invert. That means it'll change color when I click on it. And the icon on label is when the mouse button is up, I'm going to go ahead and have the label say something like email me or something like that. How about send form? That probably makes the most sense. Come back here on actions, and when they click the button, I have to have it do something. So I'm going to come out here and choose an item from the menu to have the button perform when it's clicked. So I'll click down here and I will choose submit a form. And when I click on add over here, it gives me a dialog that pertains to submitting a form. Now I'm just going to include the field data here that is included in this form. We could include anything else, like if there's any comments that were included in this document, incremental changes that were made to a PDF attachment here. You could send HTML if it was there, any XML type document format information, or you could have the PDF send the whole thing at once, the whole form, not just the data would be included, but anything else that went with the document. I'm going to pull all the fields from this guy, and I think that's good. I'm going to go ahead and click the drop down arrow here and put in a URL. I'm going to type in mail to : and I'll just say mail to aweebunny@outlook.com, and then that will ship it back to one of my email addresses when they click on the button. I'll go ahead and click OK, and it looks like everything's set up. I'll go ahead and click on close, and now if I click on preview and they come out, see a familiar little pointing finger when you're on top of the button, and when I click on it, it will set up the email with the attached form ready to go, with my email all set to go. And it has some default text inside of here. The user could just highlight this and type in their own text and click on send, and away it would go. Let's try another button out here. I'm going to go ahead back into edit, and I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. And you know, I'd like to make a another button that looks just like this one, but I'm going to have it set up so that it clears the form. That is, if people are out here and they're typing in a lot of information, if they decide to start over, they should have a reset button that they can click and reset the whole process. I would like this button to look just like the other button that I have, the same size, the same font, and everything else. And to ensure this, what I might do is just go ahead and make a copy of this button, and then in the new copy, I'm going to go into the property sheet and just make some changes and turn it into a reset button. First step, I click on the button. and then I will hold my control and my shift key and I will click and drag it to the right. Now the shift key will ensure that I don't move it up and down, and the control key will copy it. So I'm just going to place it right about there and let it go. Same exact button with the same text. I'm going to double click it and then come up and start from the left again, and I'm going to give it a new name. And I'll change the tooltip as well. I'll just say reset, click to reset the form. Click on appearance, and everything else looks good here. I'll leave that button looking just the way it was before. On position, that looks good, want it exactly where I left it. And then down here, instead of having it say send form, I will say reset form. And then over here under actions, we got to completely clean this up. So I'm going to come out here and click on this guy, and I'm going to delete that action that's in there. And then instead of saying submit a form, I'm going to say reset form, and I'm going to add that inside of here. And when I do, it gives me a listing of all my little form fields that I put in with my text box tool, and I can include all of these or none of them. I'm just going to leave them all selected. I'm going to click OK, and I will click on close, and now we have a reset form button. If I do a control 0, it will move me back out, and I will click on preview, and from here I can just type in some text, whatever, check the box, and if I come out and choose send form as you saw before, it'll go ahead and email this. If I come in here and say reset form, it just resets all the fields. I'll go back into edit and I'll zoom in on this guy. Now you don't have to just do one action. If I look out here under actions, currently I'm going to reset a form, but I could do something else as well. In addition to that, I could come out and have it say, how about if we have it say execute a menu item, and then when I click on add, it's going to give me a list of the edit menu items, and I see under file there's the properties command underneath file. I could click OK. I could add that, and now when I'm back out here, it'll reset the form. Right after it resets the form, it'll jump out into the property sheet for the current file. I'll go ahead and close this. I will click on preview. I'm going to go ahead and do a control 0 to move back out. And of course, just like before, I'll type in some information, and if I click on reset form, it should reset the form and then pop open the property sheet for this document. Click on cancel, you can see it's reset. So lots of things you can do with forms. Once you've got that data included, you want to be able to do something with it. So you could print it, you could go ahead and send it, you could reset it, you can do all sorts of different actions out here.